This is the Good Government Show.
You know, we're one big metropolitan area here in the Kansas City metropolitan area, made up of primarily 9 counties and 119 cities. And we work and play well with each other from a government point of view. What attracts people here from all over the country is we're ranked as one of the best places to raise a family, to start a business, from the New York Times to all kinds of different organizations. We deliver a high quality of life. That's always been the focus of Overland Park. We're not perfect, but I'm hopeful that we can resolve most situations pretty quickly. Potholes are not Republican or Democrat. They just need fixed, right? So that's what I tell people who are interested in government or they're getting involved is just raise your hands. Just show up.
High quality of life. That's the focus in Overland Park, Kansas. It's a suburb of both Kansas cities, and a recent survey voted it 6th best city, citing quality of life, amenities, economy, and transportation, among other things. So let's hear how the mayor can keep that going and improve on it. Welcome to the Good Government Show. I'm Dave Martin. First, help us share the message of good government by liking us and sharing us where we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Please share our show with your friends, and don't forget to review us. Let's get everyone excited about good government. On today's show, I talk with Overland Park, Kansas Mayor Kirk Skoog. He's lucky. Everything seems to be going well in his city, but the pressure's on to keep it that way. One of the things he's doing is looking to the future, and as he will tell you, the industry of Overland Park is office space. They have an active business corridor which brings people to the city to work, but he says they have to provide a city that supports both today's workforce and the workforce of the future. Listen to the mayor talk about how they help to make a city more office worker friendly, retain their status as a great place to live, and plan towards future growth. My conversation with Mayor Kirk Skoog of Overland Park, Kansas, that's coming right up. AI, the cloud, security solutions, all hot topics that are transforming how government works. Amazon Web Services is here to help government on the federal, state, and local levels figure out what's next and what's right for them. Join Amazon Web Services at the DC Summit in Washington, D.C. on June 10th and 11th and learn from industry leaders. You can participate in technical sessions and get hands-on training. You can hear directly from AWS experts who understand what government needs and network with others who are working just like you. Get up to speed on the latest information and plan your technology future with the support you need and want. Register now at aws.com/DC Summit, and I'll see you in Washington. AI isn't the future of government, it's happening now. Let Polimorphic power your government with AI like other agencies are already doing. Polimorphic helps you power resident-first service to streamline requests while reducing staff workloads and speeding up how your citizens get answers. It's a secure system that's built for government. You'll see immediate results with more informed citizens. Want to see how AI can help you power a service-first government? Visit polymorphic.com. That's polymorphic.com. County government affects more people than any other form of government. That's why we like talking to so many representatives of county government here on the Good Government Show. They are the voice of public service. The National Association of Counties, or NACO, supports all 3,069 counties across the USA. This year, their annual conference is in Philadelphia in July. Plan to attend the conference and join them in their efforts to bring good government to America's counties. Check out the details at naco.org. That's naco.org. Welcome to the Good Government Show. I'm happy to have with me Mayor Kirk Skoog of Overland Park, Kansas. We're in Kansas City, Kansas. No, we're in Kansas City, Missouri. Correction, Kansas City, Missouri. And you're just on the other side.
That's right.
All right. A little bit of a rivalry between Missouri and Kansas? Yes, no?
From time to time.
Yes.
From time to time. Going back to pre-Civil War days, but that's a long story.
Yes, it is a long story. It is a long time ago. How often do you come into Kansas City, Missouri?
Well, my day job is down here, so I'm down here all the time. Have been, we're one big metropolitan area here in the Kansas City metropolitan area, made up of primarily 9 counties and 119 cities. And we work and play well with each other from a government point of view.
And we're here at the Conference of Mayors, as I said, in Kansas City, Missouri. What brings people here?
Well, besides being the Midwest, one of the best places to live, except for right now we have high humidity today.
Yes,
but
everybody does.
What attracts people here from all over the country is we're ranked as one of the best places to raise a family, to start a business, from the New York Times to all kinds of different organizations. And so we attract people who are wanting to make a change in their life, either professionally or family.
Okay.
We have especially...
Are you one of those people, or are you born and raised here?
Well, I grew up in Topeka, which is an hour away.
Okay.
So I chose to come here about 35 years ago.
You moved to the big city, did you?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Yeah. And then, but what attracts people is we have great public schools on the Kansas side, and we have great jobs and great neighborhoods, affordable housing. And so it's an easy way of life. I was talking to somebody who moved here from Los Angeles a couple days ago.
Wow.
And I go, why are you here in Overland Park, Kansas? And she goes, my cousins moved here a couple years ago, and I came and visited. And she said, this is a quote, I couldn't believe that you could live like this, because what traffic we have is minuscule compared to major
Minimal.
cities.
I live in New York City.
Yes,
Minimal.
exactly.
Yes.
And you can afford a house, you can afford to live, and we have great public schools, so you're not writing big checks to send your kids to public schools, to private schools.
So you're the mayor of Overland Park on the Kansas side, a suburban community. What are the biggest challenges you're facing there?
So we're in a transition. So we're a 64-year-old city. We were created in 1960. And have grown from 30,000 to 200,000 in that time.
Okay.
And so we are a city of growth over that time. And so we have aging infrastructure like all cities.
Sure.
But the biggest challenge that we face, besides just what every city does about how do we maintain our streets, how do we make sure that the quality of life stays high, is our industry. So our industry is office space. So we're not a warehouse town. We're not a manufacturing town. We have office space.
Well, office space, that is a challenge because people still haven't returned to work from, COVID. And a lot of people don't want to return to office space.
In the Midwest, we have a little different attitude than the coast about going to work.
Okay.
So we have many employers who have returned their employees to work.
How's that going?
It's going well, yeah.
Okay.
There's others that are, working their way through it through hybrid schedules. And the word I hear from all of these employers is, if you're hiring young people, you need to have them in the office with the more experienced folks so they can learn the business.
Sure.
So they can learn the culture of the company. So one of our biggest industries in Kansas City is engineering firms, so engineering and construction. And the culture of engineering and construction requires learning from people who've been doing it for a while.
And having them in the office. You mentioned something, some renovations or, revitalization on something called College Boulevard. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so we just finished our comprehensive plan update. And it's a community-driven activity. And one of the big focuses is College Boulevard, which is where 90% of our office space is.
Okay.
And we are a town that was built primarily in the 80s and 90s, so we have a lot of suburban office space that is still the premier office location in the region in the Midwest. But companies are wanting to attract talent, and talent today doesn't want to go sit in a cubicle for 8 hours.
Apparently
so they're
not.
looking. So what we're doing is we have the jobs, we have the office buildings. We want to bring the live and play, right? So we want to bring living opportunities to the corridor, where right now all we have is the giant parking lots we required those buildings to build,
Right.
and entertainment and lifestyle to that corridor.
Well, I was going to ask, is this spawning, new growth in restaurants and shops and retail and other things?
It sure is, because again, the employers are the ones driving this. Is that to attract talent to come to Overland Park instead of Nashville or Dallas or Chicago or New York, we need to have the kind of amenities that this younger workforce wants.
What about bike lanes or alternative transportation?
Right, we're working on that now. We're a typical Midwest city where we have currently very poor public transportation. And so that's in our comprehensive plan. We talk about mobility, where we're improving our walkability, our bikeability, and starting to work on transit options. Hopefully, we'll move forward with the streetcar, much like they have down here in Kansas City.
Are bike lanes being asked for? Are they something that you're talking about for the future?
Yeah, and we've implemented, starting 10 years ago, we started to do bike
I ride
lanes.
a bike. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
And I ride a bike in Midtown Manhattan.
Yeah, and so we have shared bike lanes currently, right? And we don't have dedicated bike lanes.
Okay.
So that's one thing that we're working towards is where is the right place for us to put dedicated bike lanes.
As a bike rider,
to
dedicated bike lanes
improve bike riders' comfort in riding around our city.
What's some of the things that you have created that you're especially proud of?
Well, in this redevelopment mode, our downtown, which you have to remember, we're a Midwest city, right? A small downtown. We've transformed into a gathering place, right? We took empty parking lots and have built mixed-use buildings that have apartments and offices with street-side retail, and really created a dynamic gathering place that includes our number one in the country ranked farmers market. It's one of
we
our
are
big
in farm
successes.
country, aren't we?
Well, we are. We are.
What do they have at the farmers market? What's the local produce?
Well, right now, we're right in the middle of summer produce, so tomatoes and lettuce and. It's almost corn time, so that's always the best time. Melons are starting to show up, and then we have some boutique manufacturers, like cheese and microgreens. All of the things are coming into the market right now. It's an exciting time.
You mentioned before that you were recently at I think it's called the Bloomberg Leadership Conference. Tell me about that, and how did what you learned there come back to Overland Park?
Sure, yeah. Well, I was honored to be selected as one of 40 mayors from around the world to be part of the Harvard Bloomberg City Initiative. And so it was a year-long program where we met with and shared experiences with those 40 mayors from around the country. It was a great experience, learned a lot about cities of the future. And what cities are going to need to be, because as you may know doing the show, cities are one of the last respected government entities in the country, and so we have a heavy burden to make sure
more so than
we
other
continue.
Institutions, certainly.
Yes, yeah. So we have a heavy burden every day, right, to deliver services. And so one of the most interesting conversations we had in a roundtable, I was with some mayors from older American cities as well as European and South African cities. They talked about the challenges that they have being older cities. They lost their industry.
Sure.
Right? They lost textile or shipbuilding or whatever their longtime industry was. And our industry is office space, as I mentioned. And I said, my job is to not be turned into you, right, in 50 years where we lost our industry and we didn't, right, our economy goes to hell and we've got to figure out how to bring it back. We want to maintain it and improve it so we don't
How do you improve office space?
Well, it's, as I mentioned, it's about bringing the office place of today and tomorrow, which is bringing the living and working to the office space where
what's office space going to look like in 10 years?
Well, it's more collaborative, right? In my first job, I sat in a cubicle for 8 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually they brought me a computer, right? That's show my age a little bit, right?
My first job, I had a typewriter.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so the workplace of tomorrow is a more collaborative space, right? Where you maybe don't have a dedicated cubicle that you show up to, but you and your coworkers have shared spaces and shared workspaces that allows that collaboration and interaction, the kind of interaction you can't get when you work at home.
No.
Right? That's how you learn your trade or your industry, is from others that have been doing it.
And I guess if you're going paperless, all you have to do is just bring your laptop, turn on the Wi-Fi, and you can sit anywhere.
You can sit anywhere and interact and share and be creative and solve problems.
I still have way too much paper, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What does coming to the conference do for you? what are the benefits, especially, I mean, your citizens are paying for it.
Right, sure. Well, there's not very many conferences that is focused around the job of being a mayor.
Right.
It's a little bit different of a role than being a CEO of a company
Sure.
or other city issues. So it's the best part is interacting with other mayors and learning from what they've done and me sharing what I've done to see how we can continue to improve to provide quality service and quality of life to residents in Overland Park from stealing ideas from other people.
First of all, what's your background, and then what got you into running for mayor?
Yeah, so I'm a business guy, so I've done management and sales and business development my whole career in multiple industries.
Okay.
Today I work in an industry where we provide services to cities and counties.
Okay.
And so I was on the Overland Park City Council for 16 years before our past mayor decided not to run for re-election. And so people suggested I run, and here I am 2.5 years later.
And the first time they suggested, did you say, no, come on?
Yeah.
Did you, or was it something you were thinking maybe you want to get into?
I thought, I think that I've been a leader on the city council and led some important initiatives. And so I was comfortable being mayor if that's what people wanted to do, if they thought I'd be good. And
is it a full-time position?
Oh, no. It's I call it my hobby job. So I have a full-time job, and then I'm mayor.
Do you have a city manager?
We do. We have a city manager form of government, and it's interesting to experience the transformation of, like I said, from a city in 1960 of 30,000 to 200. Our residents have different expectations of not only city government, but of the mayor. And so trying to find that balance of, hey, I still got to do my day job and still be interactive with our residents and businesses.
Are there days when you're at work and still like being there all the time?
It's a balance, right? It's a balance. And luckily I have a very understanding employer. So.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to get to the heart of your philosophy of government. All right?
Okay.
These are difficult times, and if you believe in justice, progress, and democracy, the news you read and listen to can be pretty depressing. And that's why there's a new podcast called Good News for Lefties and America. Every day it features positive news stories for progressive listeners, because no matter how disturbing the headlines might be, there's always hope we can build on for a better tomorrow. Good News for Lefties and America. Listen on this platform at goodnewsforlefties.com or wherever podcasts are heard.
This is our Good Government Show questionnaire. In a minute, we're going to find out your thoughts on government. Are you ready?
I hope so.
All right. I do too. 16 years on city council and now the mayor. Define good government.
Well, good government is all in what you deliver, right? And we deliver a high quality of life. That's always been the focus of Overland Park. In the last survey that we just completed of our residents, we had a 90% satisfaction or a rate.
Wait a minute. You had a 90% satisfaction rate?
Yeah.
That's sort of the opposite of what we're seeing nationally.
Well, it's the benefit of having reliable, good government for 60 years in Overland Park.
Reliable, good government for 60 years. Good. How do you judge your success? How do you know if you're doing? How can you tell if you're doing a good job?
Well, it's a business of instant feedback. So number one is what are people talking to me about?
Yeah.
Right. And so our emails, right, or voice messages. What are people talking to me about? That's number one. Number two is I go out and meet with neighborhoods and residents all the time. I think it's my favorite part of the job, and it's the best part of the job, and the feedback that we receive. And then, there's always some loud voices that have certain opinions that are important to listen to and consider. But when we did this survey, right, of all of a statistical sampling of our residents and match the louder voices in the community with the feedback of the rest of the community is a way to make sure that we are doing the right things for our community.
If people don't like what they see, if they don't like what they hear, if they don't like you, what you're doing, what would you like them to do?
Just talk to me.
Are you easy to find?
I'm easy to find.
Yes.
I get coffee with everybody all the time. So
You do?
let's have a conversation about what your challenges are. What would you like for us to improve? What are we doing poorly? And give us a chance to correct it if we're not perfect. But I'm hopeful that we can resolve most situations pretty quickly.
Do you have conversations? I mean, are you able to continue to have conversations? Because in part of the country you can't.
Yeah, I mean, in Overland Park we have nonpartisan elections.
Okay.
And so we work really hard to say, hey, we deal with, potholes are not Republican or Democrat. They just need fixed, right?
That's the story everybody tells. Sure.
Yeah, right. And so we work really hard on that. Sometimes there are political issues, different philosophies of what government should do, what tax rates should be, and what we shouldn't spend money on, and all of those. So I'm able to have discussions. I can't think of one I've not been able to have in the last 2 years.
Okay, well, that's good.
We don't always agree, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, so sometimes you have to agree to disagree and part friends.
Yeah.
All right, that's the hard part. Agree to disagree and part friends.
Right, exactly.
What's the difference that you saw from city council to being mayor?
Well, we are Overland Park again. We're 64 years old, so we're in transition, right? The leaders who led our community for the first 55 years or so are moving to the background, retiring, doing whatever they want to do, not city related. And so we're having to rebuild the civic infrastructure and the leaders in our community. And in the last 2.5 years, we've really done a nice job of bringing new people into local government activities, our committee systems, our community boards, to make sure that that drives us thinking about tomorrow, right? Cities have often get stuck in the past, right? You pick your decade. Overland Park, it was the 1990s were great, right?
Right.
And which is...
Make Overland Park great again?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is a sure sign way of starting your demise. Because we have to build the city for today and tomorrow, not for 1990.
So as the mayor, as someone who's inside government, what would you like people to know about government?
Is that that government is responsive, that at least from Overland Park, local government, we listen and we consider, and we are gathering public feedback on items all the time. So I want people to make sure that they know that we are listening and to participate and share your thoughts on how we can continue to have such a high quality of life and such a great community in Overland Park, Kansas.
What's the best part of the job?
Talking to people. I love talking to people. Yeah. Be it at a coffee shop or at a front door or in front of a neighborhood
group. Does it make it hard for you
group.
to stop by the hardware store or, pick up something at the grocery store?
No, not too much. Not too much. Sometimes, the great thing is that Overland Park, we're not the big city.
Right.
So I would guess a lot of residents may know my name, but they don't know my face. So when people find out who I am, then, we have conversations. But
no matter where you are.
No matter where.
At the grocery store, at a little
Which is great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife is very understanding.
Good. What's the hardest part of the job?
The hardest part of the job is making sure that we are informing the public about what needs to happen for the future so that they're open-minded to think about how we implement change for the future. Right? We live in, like I mentioned, right? Our satisfaction rates are off the roof. So it's easy to say we should just stay the way we are, right? Because we are a pretty special place. But helping people understand that we can't stay the way, nothing stays the same. And that we need to make sure we're continuing to build the community.
Changes are coming, people. Here's what's going to happen.
And participate, right? Yeah. And you can be part of the conversation about change.
Okay. What's the hardest part?
So the hardest part is making that connection with residents to understand what's going on, right? And we communicate left and right all the time about what's happening. And as you well know, in this media environment that we're in, there's no longer really a local newspaper. right?
Well, that leads me to my next question. Where do you get your news from?
Yeah, well, I am a C-SPAN YouTube podcast addict.
Nice.
So I listen to all different conversations from the left, the right, and the middle.
Okay.
And experts about, and that's where I think it's important that the mayor understands all point of views out there in the community.
Who's your political hero? Who inspired you to run for, I guess, the city council in the first place and, mayor now?
Yeah, I'd have to say Bob Dole, right? So Bob Dole is from Kansas.
Yes, he is.
Right? He was our senator forever. I grew up working on his campaigns with my parents.
Okay. You might be the first person that answered that question that said Bob Dole.
Well, I'm a good Kansan.
I guess so.
And so, Bob Dole lived a career of moderation and served the residents of Kansas well for a long time. And the state of Kansas was better for his service. And growing up, watching how he interacted with people and how he brought his Russell, Kansas roots, right? Small town Kansas, to the national limelight and continued that his whole career. So,
okay, Bob Dole, good. When you were growing up, were you president of your student council? Did you aspire to someday run for office?
Yeah, I'm
be the next senator from Kansas, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but. Okay. So I grew up, my parents were involved in everything in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
And I was number 4 of 5 boys. So I got to go to everything.
Had to go to everything.
The Historical Society, right? All
Kurt,
of
you're
the
coming
meetings.
along. Get in the car.
I'm getting in the car.
Yeah.
And so I was student body president at my high school.
You were? All right.
Yeah. So always was interested. And then what happened is I was on a school board. Shawnee Mission School District is one of our 4 great public school systems in Overland Park.
Okay.
I was on a committee where we were looking to reduce the number of school buildings. And we made recommendations to the superintendent.
Yes.
And the superintendent accepted most, but not all. And it reminded me I'd rather be the decision maker than the recommender.
All right.
And that's a seat opened up on the city council that year, and the public thought that I was the right guy, and here I am.
So you did exactly what you and others have advocated for. You got involved, and you saw some problem, and you said, "I want to jump in."
That's right. So that's what I tell people who are interested in government or they're getting involved: is just raise your hands, just show up.
Yeah.
Right? Show up and listen. If there's a committee at the city you're interested in, or your county, or your church, whatever it is, just show up and sit in the back row and listen and watch. And you'll be surprised the second meeting, if not the first, people will come over and introduce themselves. Why are you here? Because it doesn't happen very often.
Okay. All right.
But just raise your hand and get involved.
We are here in Kansas City. Kansas City is famous for its barbecue. What's your favorite barbecue? What's your order?
Right. So I'm kind of a simple person, right? So my favorite barbecue was not at the event the other night.
I'm sorry.
My favorite one is Gates Barbecue. And the reason I like it is barbecue started out as a working man's food, right? They would take a smoker to the construction site, and it was an affordable meal, right, for workers. Yeah. And so Gates is my favorite, and I just get brisket, just a brisket sandwich. Just a brisket sandwich.
Is there any other cuisine that Kansas City is famous for?
We have.
Listen, I'm fine with barbecue. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Steaks, of course, right? We were Kansas City. We're the second largest rail hub in the country. So logistics has always been a part of us because we were the slaughterhouse where the Texas ranchers who were raising beef in western Kansas, they would bring them to Kansas City to be slaughtered, and so we've always been a meat town. So you can't get a better steak than in Kansas City.
All right. This is the Good Government Show, and we always like to bring it back to good government. Give me an example of a good government project you've completed or that's going on in your town.
Well, I think the best that we've done recently is completing our comprehensive plan. So the comprehensive plan is our roadmap for the next 20 years in the city.
Okay.
and it was all community
You're going
driven.
to be here for the next 20 years as mayor?
I will not, but it's a vision driven by the community, not the elected officials.
Okay.
The
Do you feel like you had
came
good
together.
participation? Because that's
we
really
had great.
the key.
We
Oh, you
did. We had
Okay.
great participation, and always want more. But we had great participation, and the main themes are high quality of life. That's our number one priority.
Okay.
Economic vitality, and right now it's housing. The community said we need all housing of all types and all price points, and that's what we're focused on delivering in the next decade.
Well, too bad you won't be there to see it all the way through, but good luck getting it started. Mayor Kurt Skoog of Overland Park, Kansas. It was a pleasure having you on. It was great to meet you, and loving my time here in Kansas City.
Well, thanks for the conversation, and enjoy the rest of your time here.
And get some barbecue.
Well,
Yeah.
there's lots of different choices.
Good.
Enjoy the selection.
I certainly will. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
The Good Government Show is sponsored by Our. That's OUR for Our Community. Get involved. We hear that all the time from government leaders. Our co-brands with your government's name and logo. Your staff and the people you serve are connected and part of your community. From any device, your members provide reliable data and meaningful feedback. Ask a question like, do we want more parkland or better homeless services? More engaged conversations come through the Our app. Visit Ourco, that's OURCO.com, and book a demonstration. After you get done with this episode, hear more good government stories with our friends at How to Really Run a City. Former mayors Kasim Reed of Atlanta and Michael Nutter of Philadelphia, and their co-host, journalist and author Larry Platt, talk with guests and other mayors about how to really get stuff done in cities around the nation. Check them out where you're listening now or through their nonprofit news site, thephiladelphiacitizen.org/podcasts. Not much traffic. Well, that's certainly appealing, and they're thinking about what will appear to residents of the future. That's good government planning. We like that. And his advice to the people of Overland Park is good advice anywhere. If you want to know what's going on or make sure government is working effectively, go to a meeting, listen, and then raise your hand. If we all did that, especially the listening part, we'd all have good government, or at least better government. And by the way, I did a lot of barbecue in Kansas City, and yes, tried a lot of brisket. Well, that's our show. Thanks for listening. Please like us and share us with your friends and review us right here where you're listening. And check out our website, goodgovernmentshow.com, for extras. Help us keep telling stories of good government in action everywhere. Join us again for another episode right here. I'm Dave Martin, and this is The Good Government Show. The Good Government Show is a Valley Park production. Jim Ludlow, Dave Martin, that's me, and David Snyder are the executive producers. Our show is edited and produced by Jason Stershic. Please subscribe, then share us, and like us and review us. That's the best way to make sure we're able to keep telling these stories of our government working for all of us. Then listen to the next episode of The Good Government Show.